So I don't know. Are we recording already?
We're recording, but hold up.
All right, go and do your intro. Do
I
everything.
got an
Let's hear it.
intro.
Let's hear it.
Okay, it's my big ass book right here.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, ready? And let's just give a big clap in 3, 2, 1. Good.
Sync it up.
All right. And welcome to Lady on the Street podcast. Today I have someone who is using social media to share his lyrical critique
I am critique.
with the world.
I thought you were gonna. I thought that was a word that I didn't know. I was like, oh, critique.
Oh,
Should I throw that in my vocabulary?
oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who's pairing wit, sarcasm, and riz, as the kids would say it, to help grow his audience as a music critic. I'm talking if a new song is out, so is his critique.
Yep.
Critique, I got it right.
Critique.
So whether it be finding an 80s reference in a Drake song or using comedy to compare Selena's lyrics to the modern day lady, this man has created a YouTube community, but his obsession with music and lyrics goes way back. I'm
Yeah.
talking like high school back
Yeah.
when he was singing Lupe Fiasco and things.
Mm-hmm.
So
Push.
yeah, he's been singing out loud since I met him in 2004, and now nearly 20 years later, he's not only a content creator.
Yep. It's a weird thing to say.
I
I used to hate it.
well, I'm gonna ask you about it
Yeah.
actually, but he's also dabbling in making music of his own,
Mm-hmm.
and the people are watching. So joining me today is Ernie, as I like to call him. You might know him by his Instagram handle, the Third Ernest, but you tell me, what do you want to be called? Is it Ernest, Ernesto, Ernie, Big Ern?
You can call me Ernie because it's like one of those. It's like people that I know and have known,
Yeah,
they don't know anything to call me other than that
yeah,
because I like we go back to childhood. But yeah, like so y'all calling me Ernest feels weird, but
weird.
new people calling me Ernie feels
This is
like
weird.
it's weird. Yeah,
Yeah, I get the same thing. People know me
like
as
Pris or
Pre,
yeah, Pre or Pris.
but I would never introduce myself as
No, no,
that.
no, exactly,
Yeah,
Ernie.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
especially like in the corporate world, it's like that doesn't seem like a very formal
that's
name.
very
It's
true.
not formal
Ernie.
enough.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
Ernie.
exactly,
Wait,
exactly.
let me see. So I was gonna bring up. You mentioned I was reading your bio. I was reading
Mhm,
everything.
mhm.
So I guess before we get into that, let's just bring up the fact that it's Sunday afternoon and you decided you wanted an old
I
fashioned, right?
do.
So this is not normal for
We're
me.
old.
We're old.
We're old. You got to start
Why?
expanding the palate
Why is this your drink though?
because it's like I like the citrus nature. I like the fact that it's strong. I like whiskey. It's not like I feel like you're not trying to hide the whiskey like nasty flavor, like the heat,
Yeah.
but you're also not like just drinking a straight shot.
But you legit said this should take you 45 minutes to finish, and you're like,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, but they do make them like they do pour more.
I told you if I
Yeah,
should have
like
poured
two
more.
shots is fine. Two at home is fine.
Yeah.
But if I'm paying $15, I
Oh,
want
right.
I want a little more.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, there's more if you want
Okay,
more.
okay, cool.
Okay, so your Instagram bio says that you're just a regular dude whose
Mm-hmm.
music knowledge got him 200,000 YouTube subscribers and
260.
260 now. Whoa,
YouTube, yep,
and a Twitch affiliate.
yep.
So tell me, like, how did you even start doing this? What made you want to do this?
Man, it was so crazy because it wasn't like a plan. I was just working at USA at the time. No, no, no. I was at Bank of America at the time. No, actually, I was at USA. So I wasn't because I floated jobs
Yeah, yeah.
because of this job. I floated jobs, and we
Ah,
could talk about it in a little bit.
yeah.
But it was my goddaughter Dell, his daughter. It was her second birthday. Don Pedro's obviously we're Southsiders, and
Shout out to Dom
shout out
Pedro's.
Don
If you know, you
Pedro's.
know.
If you know, you know, and if you know about the margaritas, you know.
Yes.
So I had two.
Okay.
Got home. It was a good time. I was feeling good. I was just on YouTube. An Eminem recommendation came up, and it was a guy that was like reacting. I've never seen this form of media before. Like I'd watch blogs, but I'd never seen somebody react to something else. And I was like, I like this, but I feel like he's not doing that great of a job.
Yeah.
Like, and in my mind, it's like now that I make my own original content, not just that, and it's always been in my mind that like I need to bring something other than just my facial expression to a video. Because
Yeah.
at that point, like if I'm just sitting there listening to somebody else's song, then I'm just stealing somebody else's song.
Right.
Like you're only coming to my channel because you like that person.
Yes.
I want you to come to my channel for me and because you like that person.
Well, I mean, I think you're doing a really good job at it.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's like a give and take because you grow slower because your video isn't as short.
Yeah.
So, like, I know a guy that we started at the same time, and he's almost got 1,000,000 subscribers, but he doesn't do anything but just sit there and listen to the song, and if the song is 3 minutes, his video is 5 minutes, and his
Okay.
intro is 40 seconds, so I'm like, "What are you really saying?"
Yeah.
And it's not any shade to those people because people like that content,
Right.
but just as a personal level, as someone who's creative, I would like, if I saw an artist watching my video, I would want them to feel like, "Oh, okay. He's not just stealing my song.
Right.
He's, like, providing context and helping people understand."
Well,
So,
isn't that kind of like, I mean, I guess I feel like that's kind of the loophole because what's up with copyright when it comes to this kind of
it's
thing,
super strict. It's super
right?
strict. Yeah, so for a long time, and even now, really, before I have Patreon, most of my money comes from direct people who pay me.
Yeah.
So I don't make really money on YouTube. So at my size, I should be able to support myself financially without anybody giving me money.
Mm-hmm.
But because YouTube is so strict in their copyright,
Yeah.
they pour billions of dollars into it. Like if a song is 4 seconds long and I haven't cut it yet, they'll get copyrighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Jeez.
it's not just the one section; it's the entire video.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
so if I get a video that gets 50,000 plays on YouTube, will net me like 20 bucks when really that should be thousands of
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
Because it used to be YouTube used to be the amount of views, and then they switched it to like how long people are holding on to the video
Yes.
because they have mid-roll ads now. So they play you the ad at the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
then the longer you stay on, the more ads they can show you.
Yeah.
And you know, because you're in media, it's all about advertising.
All about it.
Yeah, so if nobody's watching, then we can't charge anything.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the mid-roll ads, but as soon as a 4 second section in a 16-minute video is in there, the record label gets all of that money. Yeah. So the only money that I see on YouTube is from people who have paid. So like Honey, they've reached out to me and I've made like a spot for them where I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this video is sponsored by
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a direct payment to me
Cool.
regardless of who watches, who doesn't watch.
Yeah.
Um, and then I get paid. So like if you subscribe to YouTube Premium, so like you don't want to get ads,
Yeah.
like you pay $10 a month. Anybody who's subscribed, I get a cut of that if they watch my video.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so most of my money comes from those two things when it comes directly from YouTube.
So is all of this stuff that you learned as you went,
Yeah.
or you didn't know anything about it,
No,
right?
yeah, yeah, and I never intended it to be like I just wanted to. It was literally that I saw that one video and I was like, I could do this better. So I literally made that video drunk that night.
2 margaritas in,
2
don't
margaritas
hedges.
in, not like this size,
No,
like
the
this size.
big one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2 margaritas in. I made the video drunk. I watch it back every year. Like the year when I do it, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ah, man, this video is so bad." It's so bad. Like I was playing the audio from the song like off my speaker laptop, so it was just
Oh,
only
yes.
you could only hear it through the microphone, so it sounded like you were just room echo, and I had no like acoustics, nothing, no lighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I missed so much. Where now, if I put this video out, people have a standard
Yes.
of my knowledge. They'd be like, "You miss
They'd be
all of
like,
this.
"Do better."
Yeah, you don't know anything." Yeah, and I sounded so cocky and confident in that video because I was drunk. I was like, "Man, I'm killing this. I'm killing this. I'm about to be a millionaire."
What song did you say? An Eminem song?
Yeah, it was Kamikaze. So
Okay.
Kamikaze had just released. Eminem had gone through like backlash because he put out an album and it was his first flop of his career.
Mhm.
Everybody hated it. It was really political, and people don't like when people get
Right.
political in music. They just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
So he like became the bad guy again.
Yeah.
He's like, if y'all don't like that, then I'm going all in on being the guy I was in the year 2000, which is abrasive.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I love Eminem. First off, he's like the first guy that I ever listened to. Um, so yeah, when I heard it and when I watched that video, I was like, damn, they don't even know what they're missing.
Oh,
Like people don't even know the lyrics that they're missing, and I feel like people would love it so much more if they knew what they were if they knew all the intricacy of the way that he rhymes and the way
yeah.
that he raps.
Yeah.
I feel like people would love it the way I love it.
I feel like what you're doing, literally,
Mhm.
you could teach like a college
Yeah,
level course about this
people have
stuff.
told me, people
Yeah.
have told me. And I was gonna switch it because there was pressure obviously from the fact that like I don't grow as fast as a YouTuber because
Yeah.
longer form content. It was literally like when people didn't know who I was, it was my comment sections were literally half of them were, "Bro, you do this so well. I'm
Yeah.
catching so much that I didn't even know was there." And then the other half were, "Bro, you talk too much. Just play the song."
Oh, but it's like I just so people will be at home and they will shit on anything that
Oh,
you
yeah,
do,
for
right?
sure, for sure.
So I'm like, "Why are you
Yeah,
watching?"
and it's not
Like,
and I get it, it's because, like I mean, I don't wanna say, like, I was the first, but I was definitely one of the first to make it known that this is the direction my channel was
yeah.
going. So if people didn't know, like, if they just clicked on a song, they had never seen my video before.
Oh, I see.
So they're like, "Bro, stop
That's
pausing it so
interesting.
much. Yeah, like, why are
Yeah,
you doing like, this is not the way you do this."
yeah.
And I'm like, "It kinda should be the way it's done."
You're like, "It's the way Ernie
It's
does
the
it."
way it's
Or
Ernest.
Ernest.
It's
Ernest
the way
does
that
it.
Ernest does it. Yes,
Yeah,
and it all fell into place, like, the branding.
yeah,
Like, I was like, I couldn't change my name on YouTube until I got 4,000 subscribers, which I didn't think I was ever gonna get. It
yeah.
wasn't the 3rd Ernest before.
No, what
It
was
was
it?
just like Ernest Ariano I,
Oh,
like, just
yeah,
my name.
yeah.
It was whatever I made for Gmail to make the account. And I was like, I had,
Yeah.
like well, I don't know what I had posted. My brother's highlights from, like, his basketball, so
Oh.
that way
Oh,
so
so you
it
didn't create, like, a
No,
new one
no,
at all?
no. Yeah, yeah. I just said
Oh, well, there was no thought put
there was
beneath it?
yeah, there
Yeah.
wasn't like, "Okay, I'm gonna sit down with a business plan like this right here, this didn't happen. What you're doing, that's not how mine happened."
Well, we'll see if it works out, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it will if you, like, just as long as you don't try to make it I feel like people will get discouraged because they try to make it they see how quick other people blow up, and I'm like, "But they didn't blow up quick."
Yeah. Well,
It's a
no, I mean, here's the thing that I'll say is I am doing this because I enjoy it.
Mhm,
Like,
oh,
do you
yeah,
know
you
what I
have to
mean?
enjoy it.
Like,
Yeah,
that's really the only reason why
yeah,
I if it turns into something, that's great, but if it doesn't,
exactly. Just
I'm
having
just
fun
having
with your
fun doing
friends.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all I was doing for a while, so I never saw it as a job, and looking back, it really was a job because I worked 8 hours,
Yeah.
hour-long commute to get home, took an hour to record a video because I was so not fluent. I was so not f like, the fluidity of my conversation on camera,
Yeah.
it was not there at the
Yeah.
beginning. So, if you look at other people who do what I do, a lot of times they just hit record, they record raw, and then they upload that raw video. So no
No
editing.
edit.
That couldn't be me,
Yeah.
because talking to a camera without anybody behind it,
Yeah.
like, it's not the same as us having a conversation right now.
No, it is different.
Yeah, so there's, like, a lot of ums, there's a lot of, like, stumbling on my words because 'cause I'm not looking at somebody.
Yeah. Well, and also if you don't have any training in it
Yeah,
either,
yeah,
it's
if you didn't go
like
to school, if you didn't go to journalism
yeah.
school to, like, learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And even then, like,
Even then it's tricky.
even then on the news, like, it's you still have a
Oh,
teleprompter
right. Yeah.
there, like, I'm just in my mind.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
for sure.
so after doing it, I look at TV, I watch, like, sports analysts because 'cause they're not on a teleprompter, they're just giving their opinion. I'm
Yes.
like, "Damn,
Mhm.
they're so fluid, I don't know how they do
Yes.
this." Like,
But you're
so
doing a good job now. You've learned a lot.
yeah, yeah, I have, and I learned how to edit because of it.
Yeah.
So my whole channel when I started, it was originally to make vlogs, just like
Yeah.
and it wasn't to blow up, it was just like, "Hey, mom, look at what I did this weekend," or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I learned
You
how to
watched a couple of those, I think, when you
yeah.
first started.
Yeah, yeah, you probably did. I posted them on Facebook back then.
What so wait, but what year was this?
This was 2018.
2018.
2018,
Gosh, it's been a
2017.
while.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was moving out of I was living with PJ for a
Oh, yeah,
while.
yeah.
So I was moving out, and that's when I learned how to edit while I was living with him, so I was like, "Let me make this move out,
Yeah.
like an event. So let me, like, make it a vlog and turn it into a thing." And I was like, "Damn, this
Yeah.
is fun to do. It's fun to make." Back then, I got 100 views. I was like,
That's
"I'm Casey Neistat. We're going to
like
YouTube headquarters. Yep. I'm gonna get my gold plaque."
so I think I remember you doing one vlog, and I don't know what year this was, but
Mhm.
you drew an art piece of artwork
Yeah.
and you went to get it framed or you were
Yeah, yeah,
getting it
yeah.
that's the one that I remember
Yeah,
specifically.
it still sits in it's in my studio.
Yeah.
So if you watch my video I mean, you can't see it because it's compressed in the back, but
Yeah.
it's there. It's a big
Yeah.
old mandala, so it's I guess it's like an Indian style, but it's very symmetrical. There's a
Yeah.
lot of repeating patterns. Took
Pretty cool.
forever.
Well, you're truly a creator at heart.
Yeah, yeah, I say it. I truly am. And it was just like a jack of all trades, master of none, and then I kind of fell into this and became I was like, "This is gonna be my thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, I was mentioning earlier in your intro
mhm.
that you have a beef with the term content
I
creator.
do. It's so,
Why?
like it's so cringy to me.
It's not.
You don't think so?
I mean, well, not for you to call yourself. I guess I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to call myself that either, but
No, it's just like content seems very shallow and superficial to me, like the word. It seems
content.
like you're just making something for somebody to consume.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing behind the
Yeah.
consumption. So one of my favorite things on TikTok right now is people who are they're like they're de-influencing. So they're watching like somebody's very well produced, well
Yes.
edited influencing video,
Yeah.
and then they're like breaking down what actually went in to make that video.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's so much like work. and they probably just returned everything they bought. They just made it for the
Right.
video.
I always think about that when
Yeah,
these ladies that I follow and they show up with boxes and
yeah.
boxes
They
of
go to
stuff.
Home Goods, spend $1,000. I'm like,
Yeah,
where are you putting all this?
exactly.
Like,
I'm like, I don't have enough space for all those
yeah,
clothes, you know?
yeah. And I think it's just Gen Z being hyper aware of like what content is.
I actually love that though.
So do I.
They
So do
or
I.
and I don't want to even like say the mommy shamers, but those
Hmm.
the mom bloggers who
Yeah,
record every little thing and then
yeah,
people are like, "Hold on, let me set the camera up
yeah.
and cry again, baby." Like
Exactly. That's real. Like
I'm
that's
like,
a
"Ah, I can't, it's too much work.
and that's how it goes. And
Yeah.
that's what I like about Gen Z is that they're hyper aware of the content. So like
Yeah.
I feel like millennials get sucked
We
into
do.
we get sucked in and we like buy it
We
where
do.
Gen Z doesn't buy it.
They don't. Yeah. And literally buy it. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah, like
will.
we'll go TikTok shop, buy it right there.
Oh my God, you sound like Andy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's like, look what I got. I'm like, where'd you get it? TikTok. I'm like, did you
Ah.
buy from TikTok?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not great.
So part of this podcast
Hmm.
is, I guess, kind of talking about what we're already discussing, right? The real you versus the internet you, social media
Yeah.
you. Does your persona match real life to what you're putting out on the internet?
Unfortunately, it does. Not unfortunately, but unfortunately, and like fortunately because it comes off as authentic
Right.
on the videos.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because if you're new to the channel or if you don't understand my sense of humor or how abrasive it can be,
Yeah.
or how tongue in cheek or sarcastic it can be,
Yeah.
it comes off as like, oh, this guy's misogynistic because he said this.
I see.
So
Yes.
when you talked about the Selena video, that video has like 150,000 plays on Instagram Reels, and probably 80% of the comments are people not realizing that I was being sarcastic.
Right.
When I was like, "Oh, you're not Selena Gomez,"
Yeah. Don't say
like
that.
I'm
Yeah.
comparing women together, like pitting them against
Oh
each other.
no.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Well, I am, but for the joke of it." Like it's
Yeah.
very meta. It's very. This is a
Okay.
character
It's
that
like,
I put on.
guys, calm down.
Calm down. Exactly.
Calm down. Have a little laugh.
Again, and it's one of those like if you get offended, it's not for you,
Yeah.
and that makes me grow slower. But the people that have grown with me, they're like more dedicated.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel like sometimes though people are just looking to get offended. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly.
So
And if you're looking to get offended, this is
you're
definitely
like,
not the
you
place
will
for
be.
you. Yeah, the offensiveness is the joke
Yes.
because I say it like all the and it's so much so like okay, so when you're live on stream, you have an audience that's watching every single second, so
Right.
the context is immediately there.
Yeah.
When you're on YouTube, these are people that have subscribed for a long time, so even if they're not live, they still get the context of my
And they know
personality.
you. Right. Hmm.
Exactly, but if I it's to the point sometimes where, like, when my jokes, I'm like, "Damn, that was funny on stream," then I'll go to edit it down into a TikTok or a reel, and I'm like, "Well, someone who doesn't know
The
me,
context is not
it's not
there.
there."
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone who doesn't know me, will they see that and be like, "Ah, this guy's, you
Yeah.
know,
You don't
misogynistic,"
want to get
or yeah,
canceled.
or I'm, like, flirting the line of, like, "Ooh, that's just too offensive."
Uh,
Yeah.
well, I hope that you don't get to that
I
point where
won't
like
so
people aren't so offended that they stop watching or anything
so
like
the
that.
thing about me is that and this is how I feel about most people, is that if you don't care about getting canceled, it's impossible to cancel you, you know?
Ah, yeah.
That's why people like I don't know if you know stand-up comedy, but Anthony Jeselnik, he's a very offensive, like, punchline joke,
Uh-huh.
and he never gets canceled, everybody loves him.
Because that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
what his intention
that's what his
is, right?
intention,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so we touched on it just a bit,
Mhm.
but life before YouTube, content creation, all of that, like what did you intend to do with life? That's like a deep question, but did you have
I don't even know, and
no?
it's something that's like an existential crisis for me, and I think about it all the time. Like, when we're in high school and they're like, "Alright, you're 8, you're 17," because I graduated at 17.
Same.
"Pick what you wanna do for the rest of your life right now."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I don't know.
"I got a baseball game tomorrow." Like, "What?"
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
worried about going to Laredo to play baseball for in college. I don't even know what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So I intended like, I didn't even in school, I was like, I'm an intelligent guy, but I just didn't have a passion for anything.
Yeah.
So I floated not careers, but majors. So I started like I was gonna go pre-med because I was like an ace in biology, but then when I got into college, I was like, I really hate chemistry at this level.
Mhm.
And chemistry is half of the
Right.
coursework.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not gonna fly. I'm gonna hate my life for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Numbers are no bueno for me either, so
yeah,
I went with words.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's probably why I'm good at biology because chemistry is like math. It's like there's a right answer and a wrong answer. There's no in
Yes.
between.
Mhm.
Biology is kind of like very
Yeah.
theory based,
Mhm.
so that's me. And then kind of, and then I went into architecture and I was acing architecture like design wise, but again, numbers no bueno. And
I know.
you got to take civil engineering courses
Mhm.
in order to graduate. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna get. So then eventually I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let me just see where life goes.
Yeah.
Um, Ended up working at USAA. I really like the insurance industry. I like customer service because I feel like you're helping that individual person.
Mhm.
It can be easy to feel like you're lost in the crowd of the corporate world or you're just a customer. But like right now, I'm a claims adjuster for theft, fire, and vandalism. So it's like, all right, you have the theory of the company, and everybody hates insurance until it's time to pay, until it's time to file a claim, and then you're talking to me, and the
Yeah.
car is the second most expensive, purchase in somebody's
Yeah.
life. So
Mhm.
for me to like get that for that one person, you feel like, all right, I might just be a cog in this big machine, but at least I helped this one
Oh,
person.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like it's a really good feeling. Um, so I did that. I started out in USAA, and that's when I started the YouTube thing.
Mhm.
And then the YouTube thing was like, oh man, this is kind of growing a little bit. And like the Eminem, people love Eminem on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm a huge Eminem fan. Like I know every lyric to every song, the whole thing. So that's why it was really easy for me to talk about that. And then it just happened to be that people were looking for it.
Yeah,
I
because
was
it was
talking
right
about
right
it.
at the right
Yeah,
moment.
exactly. Um, so then I did that. It was growing, and then I was just making videos. Like just I didn't watch TV. I was just sucked
Yeah.
in. I was addicted to making the videos. And then I left USAA. I never thought that YouTube was going to be like the main source of income.
Mhm.
So I was like, I still had the professional career.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, USA is good. Let me go and be a loan officer. My friend got me in at a loan officer job, passed the test. I was doing that, and I just wasn't fulfilled in that.
Yeah.
And even then, I was still making the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I was still like, this is my career path. This is my hobby.
Right.
And then, so I was like, all right, well, I applied at Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. And this is really where the pivotal turning point happened. So I applied at Merrill Lynch. I got approved to be a financial advisor, just
Mhm.
stocks and bonds, the whole thing. I passed my licensing exams and everything.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So saying like I'm a smart dude.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the failure rate is like 40%.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so I passed all these exams, no problem. And I was working at Bank of America because they're owned.
Yeah.
So they're like, you work at Bank of America for a year because you got to know the bank products, and then we'll transition you into Merrill Lynch, and then and then you'll know both, and this will be your primary role. I was like, all right, this could be a career. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. And I was like, all right, cool. So worked at Bank of America for a year, still doing the whole YouTube thing. Transitioned into Merrill Lynch, and because Merrill Lynch is securities industry,
Yeah.
they need to know like your background for every single penny you've made for the last 10 years.
Ah.
So I like have to get exact dates I was at Best Buy, I was at,
Yeah.
Cons, I was at USAA, and then it got to YouTube and YouTube was still active.
Mm.
So YouTube was an active source of income. So I had to put like still active. And then I got an email from my boss and was like, what do you do on YouTube? Because obviously you could solicit commercial advice. You could solicit advice
Yeah.
financially and you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't do anything like that. Here's my YouTube channel. Here's my link, the whole thing. I was like, all right, we're good. My boss liked it, but she got to get approved from her
Yeah.
boss.
Mhm.
So their boss listens or watches, and then I get an email, and they're like, "This is a reputational risk to the firm."
Ah.
Yeah, so they're like, "You either do this, or you either work for us, or you do YouTube. You can't do both." So I was like, "So let me get the." I'm like, "All right, so what I make on YouTube is not a problem, but the way I conduct myself for
Yeah.
this old money world of rich
Crazy.
white
Yeah.
people in Alamo Heights,
Yeah.
like they could see my video and be like, I don't like
I
what
don't
he
want him.
does.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want
yeah.
him managing my millions of dollars."
Oh gosh.
So I instantly made it. Like they told me I had 3 days to decide. Yeah. So I was like, didn't know what to do. I was like, I made a video, and I had just bought a house at this time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I made a video and I was like, guys, I don't know what to do. Channel's at risk. I don't make enough money on YouTube. I make like even today on YouTube, I probably only pull like $300 a month.
Yeah.
All the like hours of man work that go into it,
Damn.
it's probably like $3 an hour
Yeah.
for everything that I do. And I'm like, I like if y'all don't assist, if y'all don't come together as a community,
Yeah.
I understand because I'm asking you for money.
Yeah.
But if y'all don't, the channel's over. Like there's no other
Yeah.
option. So I opened up a Patreon account just for that, and I got like immediate support. I had like
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I think at that point I had 120,000 subscribers, and I probably got like 1,500 people that supported.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
15, 1,600 people. So, and it was enough to quit my job,
Yeah.
and so then I did that for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was
Awesome.
just a content creator, and I just recently went back to USAA just so that way, like when like the content potentially suffers if you have the stress of it being
Right.
your only
Yeah.
thing. Uh, and
Well, you
like
want it to be fun still,
you want it
not
to be fun.
yeah.
You got to know it's a job. So like not all jobs are going to be
No.
100% fun all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, but the job portion like puts more stress than when it was just like I'm making videos after work.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So I was like, I did it for 3 years. I liked it a lot. Um, Obviously, like supporters come and go, and that's really the most stressful part. If I was making more money directly on YouTube
Yeah.
and not relying on other people to support me,
Yeah.
because it's like you can come and go. It's not like a contract. You
Yes.
could give me $10 1 month and then I never hear from you again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So now I gotta entertain random people online. Then I also gotta entertain more so the people that pay me,
Yeah.
and then that also provides like a conflict. Like, oh, you only care about the people that are giving you money. So it's a balancing act, and I'm like it's all leveled out. Like I had immediate support, and then it kind of like fluctuated. So then now I've been like level for the last year,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, this is good, and I can time wise manage going back to work and doing this, and still the content doesn't suffer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let me just make two incomes again.
Well, and you did say so you're waking up at 5 in the morning for your corporate job.
Yeah, yeah, right. Oh, right now, right now. So the job that I took, my hours are going to change once I get out of like training for everything that I'm doing.
Okay.
So I'll be working at 11:30. Like I'll go into office at 11:30.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So right now
Yeah.
it's just like right now
I
it's
was
like
like,
a
what are you doing at
no,
5 in the
yeah,
morning?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like wake up at 5, start driving at 6. I got two dogs I gotta let out, gotta
Yeah.
do the whole thing, get ready for work.
Yeah.
And an hour, not an hour, it's probably a 30-minute commute in the middle of traffic. And then
Which
get
can take an hour probably.
literally, literally. And then yeah, it's just right now. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have taken the job if I knew that
If
was
that
gonna
was
be the
it.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
So it's like, okay,
Bless your heart. I
yeah,
hope you get
thank
through
you.
this.
It's
11 a.m.
we're
sounds
good.
sweet.
We're good. We're good now. Yeah, we're good. It took 2 weeks, but we're there.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned would you say Eminem is your favorite artist of all time?
uh, no, at this point it's probably Drake.
Drake.
Yeah, at
Oh,
this point it's
okay.
because he's just as lyrical in a different way.
Yes. A
But
song? Do you have a favorite song?
by Drake, Jungle.
Jungle.
hmm
I'm not familiar.
You gotta
Can
listen to it. It's good.
just give me like a 3-second. What is it?
It's a sad song. It's an existential crisis song
Okay.
about like relationships, but also he doesn't know who he is as a person yet. So how can he give?
Mm,
This is at like 28 years old.
yeah.
Like, he's lived his entire life in the spotlight,
Yeah.
and he's always entertaining other people. But it's like, who am I?
Yeah.
And I get that you want to be with me because I'm Drake, but
You're like he's like you don't
but
even know
who's
who
Drake?
Drake
Yeah,
is.
who's
Yeah.
Drake?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know
so it's one
Drake's
of those. Yeah,
persona. Yeah. Oh, Jungle. I gotta listen to
yeah,
it.
it's a really good song.
So now you went through this whole journey, right?
hmm
And now when did you start putting your own stuff out there?
that was just recently that
Right?
because it was more of like an exercise. Like people were like, "Oh,
Could
you
you?
can yeah, could you?"
Yeah.
And it was like,
And he
it,
was like, I can.
I was
Hold my drink.
yeah, I was like, I can if you want me to. So it was like you know, can the teacher do what he's teaching?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people feel like if you can't do this, you go into
That's
teaching.
very true.
It's a
That's a
phrase, like
saying.
literally,
Yeah.
if you can't do, teach.
Yeah.
So they're like, can you do it? And I was like, I mean, I can, and I never did because I know like the demographics in the industry and like
Yeah.
if I wanted to try, it's like us as Hispanics, we're kind of like the middle child.
Yeah.
So like, oh, white dudes rapping, which is in
Mhm.
predominantly black media,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Black dudes rapping, all right, cool. That's his lane.
Yeah.
Mexicans like, all right, like, well, who you trying to be? SPM?
It's just
Yeah, exactly. That's the only one. And I'm like, God,
it's awful to
that's
think
such a
about.
terrible that is the only guy.
Yeah. Well, because I mean there are but I guess like the pit bulls of the world,
Yeah, and
they're
that's the thing is like that's Latin rap.
Latin rap.
Yeah,
It's not
and they speak
mainstream.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't speak Spanish, so that's another thing. Like
Do you understand it?
I understand enough, but
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
enough to like if you talk to me in Spanish, I'm talking back in English.
Oh, same.
I'm having the
Same.
conversation, but back in English. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, don't ask me to speak.
Sometimes I'll just like walk around the house like and start doing phrases in
In
Spanish,
your head.
trying to answer like the kids and stuff,
Yeah.
they look at me like, "What the
What?
hell are you talking about?"
You're literally a foreign
Yeah,
language.
and then I look at Andy, I'm like, "Did I say that right?"
He's like, I don't know.
He's like, "I don't know."
I don't speak Spanish either.
Yeah. No, he can speak it
Yeah,
though,
no, no, yeah, he can.
yeah, but he's like, "I think so. It
Yeah,
sounds right."
yeah. Just stick to what you know, English.
Yeah. No, well, that's pretty cool though. So are you writing these things? Like, do you have things that you've stored, put away, you've written a long time ago, or did you just start doing it like
There's things that I've written a long time ago that were just like in a not in a diary, but just like, oh, can I do this?
it's a diary?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I guess so.
Just
We're
kidding.
breaking boundaries in
Yes,
2024.
yes, we
It's a
are.
diary. So yeah, it's so I would write and I wouldn't record because I don't know anything about like the recording process.
Yeah,
I know just enough to like do what I do.
right.
I'm not like an audio engineer. I'm not like anything like that. So I never recorded it, and then I never had an audience to like play it to.
Yeah,
And now I do have the audience, and so then now I go back and like see what I wrote, and I'm like, was it good enough to like put out to somebody?
yeah,
And I'm like, it was just okay. So now I like write, and I'll write as either like an exercise where I'm telling a story, or I hear a story about somebody else, so I'll write in that perspective.
yeah.
Like people are thinking that, like, if I write a sad song, they're like, "Oh, you break up with your girlfriend or something like that." I'm like, no, like
No,
people don't write about
it's
their
not about
life all the time.
themselves.
It's
Right.
never all about themselves.
Yeah,
You'll run out of things to say.
yeah,
So yeah, so I try to write and I emulate like other artists to see like
yeah,
their styles, what I like, what I don't like about their styles. So and it's because it's just an exercise. There's no like brand.
yeah.
Like Drake is a brand,
Right.
Eminem's a brand. Like they have a certain style. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right now, it sounds like I'm emulating them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's like I haven't found a voice, I guess you could say.
Mm,
The voice is jack of all trades. I can do it all.
well, I feel like though nobody really truly has like it's all stolen from a
Oh yeah,
little
yeah.
bit here and there.
There's no original
Like
content.
authenticity is
Yeah,
very hard to come by
yeah,
now
and the ones that are
in that
authentic,
sense.
they blow up. They break the mold. They do something
That's
brand new.
very true.
Like Kanye West was authentic when he first came out as
Yeah.
being like polo preppy guy in like
Yeah.
a rap world, and specifically when like gangster rap was
Yeah.
was taking the world by storm. And here comes Kanye West,
Kanye West.
polo
That's
in a
true.
backpack.
That is very true.
Yeah. So and even then, like he blew up sampling older like soul music. So
Mhm.
even what he became famous for was using somebody else's art.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it's all yeah, it all
Yeah.
comes back
Yeah.
at full circle and
You're
gets
telling the same
reused
story in a different
in a
way.
different
In a
way.
different way.
Even with movies, I'm like, there's nothing original
It's
anymore.
that's what I hate about movies. It's either Marvel or it's like a sequel to a movie that's already come out, or it's a remake to a movie.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like, do it better or
do
don't do it at all.
exactly, and you
And
can't do it
most of the
better,
time,
so
I'm like,
don't
don't
try.
do it at all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
So, what has the response been then to your own? What do we even call this? Putting your own music out
Yeah,
there?
putting my own music out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. It's been good. It's been good. Because people can. I feel like I'm validating people's like when you click on a song of mine and you know like what I do,
yeah,
you're like, it's probably like a little nerve wracking. Like, is he gonna
yeah,
be able to perform at the level that I expect of him because he knows what he knows?
yeah.
And I feel like
Good.
yeah, received fairly well.
I like that they're kind of like challenging you, and you're like, I can do it. You
Exactly,
know,
exactly, exactly.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the most gratifying thing about everything that you're doing right now? What do you like most about it?
So what I like most is the entertainment factor. I like making people laugh. But like in the journey, the most gratifying thing, and when I never even thought about it, was people from who don't speak English as their first language.
Hmm.
They're like, "Bro, you help me understand the music so much better."
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, because we take things for granted. So like if
Yeah.
I understand, English is probably one of the most complex languages in the world. So like a lot gets lost in translation.
Hmm.
And on top of that, like poetry even more so gets
Right.
lost in translation.
Yeah, because it doesn't even mean what they're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Or like if we read a Spanish song and we just read the lyrics, it
yeah,
sounds brutal. It doesn't sound
yeah.
romantic. It doesn't sound.
Mm-mm.
It's just like
Yeah,
the worst. I'm like, why is this popular?
yeah,
And they're like, you should hear it in Spanish though.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what. That's basically what I do. You should hear it in English, but let me teach you what it means in English.
I just saw a guy on, I think like on TikTok or
Hmm.
some social media site. He was like doing that,
Yeah,
reading, just like reading the song from Spanish, translating it
yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's called. And I'm like, this does not
It does
sound
not.
good.
No,
Yeah,
no. And there's really no way to translate it to make it sound
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter the way you say it in English, it
Yeah.
never sounds the way that it
No, it
does in
doesn't.
Spanish, and that's how it is for other people, so it's like the people that like the hype energy of the reaction, like, I'm getting excited about what I'm hearing. There's people that's category number 1. And category number 2 are people that speak English, and they're like, "Bro, I never caught that, I don't know how you know that reference." So, like, the Drake song, when I
Yes.
caught the Uptown Girl, people are like,
Uh-huh.
"How
Yeah.
does he know this?"
Yes.
Because
See,
it's such an
it would have never like came across my brain, but as soon as I heard you say it, I was like, "Oh, I know that song."
Yeah, exactly.
But I would have never,
And
yeah.
that happens all the time. If we're
Yeah.
like, "How do you even know that obscure reference to this one song?" And it's not even the lyrics not even the same, he just used the melody of it.
Yeah.
So, there's those people, and then the 3rd people are like, "I'm from India," and, like, Eminem is huge on the other side of the world.
Mhm.
Like, he's probably more popular over there right now than he is over here.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
See.
they like what they hear, but they don't know what they're hearing.
Yeah.
Or they do know the English, but they don't know, like, the homophone that makes the line mean something
Mhm.
else.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'm telling you, you need to start taking those courses to
I
get on
know, I
that
know.
producer thing. Like
I'm about to go pitch A&M
you
SA.
got to.
Yep.
And they have like Beyonce courses at
I know. Taylor
UTSA.
Swift's at Harvard.
Harvard,
Yeah,
yeah.
they just put a Harvard course out for Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh. Well, if you go that route, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be crazy.
I don't know what it takes, but I
No,
think you got the juice.
hey, I got the juice if they're willing to squeeze.
Right. Okay, so we talked about, I'm just going through my little list here. This was so dorky. I didn't have this the last time, but whatever.
No, I mean, you gotta have a part of like making a podcast is becoming an interviewer.
Yeah.
So you gotta like move the conversation along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what I guess through this entire thing, is there anything that you've learned A about yourself
hmm
and B about other people?
About myself, well, about other people, like my support system, like it's really big.
Yeah.
So
How's your family reacted to you?
they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad
That's
was
good.
like, I mean, obviously, it's like a crazy thing for like a generation above to understand,
Oh, right.
much less 2 generations above. Like talking to my grandparents about it.
Yeah.
Or even when I tell strangers, like, I just tell them I'm in media. Like, I don't tell them or, like, I
Yeah.
edit.
Yeah.
I try to break it at, like, base level as possible
Mhm.
because I don't wanna have a whole hour-long podcast not on a podcast with my uncle.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Alright, well, this is what I do, alright? Like, you don't know this, I know this, I'm translating that for you." And he's gonna
Yeah.
be like, "What?"
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that, like I think my support system, it, like, really drove home that, it doesn't matter what I do as long as I'm doing it well and I'm supporting myself.
Yeah.
Um, Other people, it's crazy I guess it's really just the generational differences in how they react to what I do.
Yeah.
Like the 2 generations up, they have no clue what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Our generation, they're like, "Cool," but we're also like we're on the older side of millennial,
We are, yeah.
so we're kind of on the side that's like, "All right, not everybody watches YouTube," but if we were younger millennials, like YouTube is like a thing.
Yes.
People that they don't have TV, they watch
Yeah.
YouTube.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that me me having my brother who's 10 years younger, I
Mhm.
think helps. So it
Yeah.
like kept me in like a youthful like I'm 34, but I can act like I'm 24. I can
Yeah.
blend in
Yeah.
where others can't.
Yeah.
So I think that it just helps me see the differences between like how people react to certain media.
Well,
And I can see the pros and cons of it. Like I feel like we grew up in the perfect time. Like we have the internet, we know the internet, but we don't need the internet
I mean, can
necessarily.
we were freaking like coding our own MySpace pages
Exactly.
before.
My MySpace page was completely unreadable.
Yeah.
I had white text on a baseball,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I was like,
Yeah. If I could try to even
ex-
try to go back and do that, I'm like, what was I doing? I don't
nothing. It looks terrible. And on top of that, so MySpace, I think, is like the perfect example of we understand the social cues of things that happen online
Yeah.
because we were the first ones that were like, why am I not as high as I am last week on your friends?
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that, it seems like it's such a like a minuscule thing, but there's so much emotion that goes
Oh,
behind the
yeah, you got
decision.
bumped off that top
You got
8.
bumped off. I had mine on random, so that way that would never be an issue.
Really?
Yep.
I never did.
Yeah.
There
See,
was a reason why you were on it.
exactly.
Or not.
Women, women, always with the subtle jabs without
Mm.
ever saying it directly. Yep. Exactly. Why am I now four instead of three?
Exactly.
And
Well,
that's
I'm glad men learn to take the hint from our MySpace pages.
exactly, and I think that that's what I'm saying, like, we know how to communicate,
Yeah.
like, directly,
Hmm.
where I feel like some of the younger generation, they don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
So I think, like, that's the biggest is, like, "Ooh, I'm glad that I grew up when I did because y'all don't know what y'all are doing, and dad, you don't even know what the hell's going on."
Yeah. Well, I just to like circle back that part
Mhm,
about us knowing how to communicate.
mhm,
One thing that kind of scares me is that if everything becomes digital,
mhm.
virtual, and people just like, I mean, I'm talking years,
Yeah,
decades
yeah,
from
yeah.
now,
The whole Wally
will
situation.
we even know how to speak to people face to face? Like, you know what I mean?
So I was so disappointed. I just got my manager assignment at work, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going back into the office." USA required everybody to go back into the office from the pandemic. And I'm like, "Okay, I haven't talked to anybody in 3 years. I've been at my house alone 80% of my life for the last 3 years. I'm gonna be excited to go talk to people again."
Mhm.
I'm in person, there's an energy there, and I get my manager assignment, and my entire team is in Florida. Yeah,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, 3 people that I'm in training with, those are the only people that are gonna be on my team here.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's, like, okay, we came in back into the office, but I'm gonna have a Zoom meeting at USAA to USAA. Like, why didn't I just stay at home? I could have done this at home.
That's true. Why did they bring you back?
I'm sure
You're special.
I'm sure quality and customer service dropped.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure that's what it is. There's no reason to
that's true.
yeah.
Would they even have those, like, buzzer things that, like, keep your mouse
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. USA has way too much money, they know.
they know,
They
yeah.
know, they can, like, sit they can pattern out the mouse and, like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
this is not a human hand moving
Yeah.
this mouse." Yeah. Like, I actually just saw a TikTok, and it was a somebody who is, like, an expert. She's, like, 24, but she was a consultant for transitioning a company into a 4-day work week. That's what she
Mhm.
does. So she's Gen Z,
Yeah.
and in Gen Z, like, they're every that's gonna be a 4-day work week. In, like, 20
Yes.
years, it's everything's
Mhm.
gonna be a 4-day work week.
Yeah,
And she was talking to a CEO of a company who was, like, 67, and the CEO was like, "Well, what are they gonna do with that extra day?"
yeah.
And she's like, "Nothing.
You're just like, whatever they
They
want.
just spend it." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quality of life. And she
Mhm.
couldn't wrap her head around the idea of Friday, Saturday, Sunday as a weekend versus
Uh,
Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
I'm like, "Damn, that's gonna be a hard conversation for
A lot of companies.
every company."
Yeah.
And that's what I've always said about, like, even call center jobs, like, let people work when they wanna work, and then
Yeah.
everything will just even out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah. Call center. Oh, I worked in a call center
call
too, and
centers are
it's
rough. Like, I understand the micromanaging nature of a call
yeah.
center because if you're off the phone for it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
If you're off for 10 minutes when you shouldn't be, the next person gets in the next,
Mhm.
next, next.
Mhm.
But I mean, even then, there's room for ideas to happen in terms of how people are scheduled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
scheduling, the break structure, like, was
exactly.
crappy for me when I was in
Yeah,
a
of
call
course,
center.
of course.
But I'm like, who I don't know one person who probably hasn't worked at a call center.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
but maybe that's just here in San Antonio.
No, it's a huge industry in San
Yeah.
Antonio for sure.
Okay, so I guess before we wrap up this conversation and I get to my funny questions,
Okay,
do you have any advice for anyone that's considering maybe not doing the exact same thing as you, but
the content creation in general.
yeah,
Yeah. So let me think. First off, do something that you like. Don't do something that you think is going to get views because if you don't like it, it comes across on camera.
yeah.
Comes across heavy. So one thing that learned like early on, if you just talk, if you think you're giving enough energy on camera, you're not.
Oh yeah, everything
You
has to
have to
be
so animated. It's got to
yeah.
be over the top,
Yeah.
over the top, just for it to seem like
Normal.
normal. Exactly.
I'm glad you learned that
Yeah,
because
you have to learn it
yes.
early,
Yeah.
because you'll watch a video and you're like, man, it's
It's boring.
boring. Exactly. Unless it's like a super professional setup and they're specifically talking calmly because that's the vibe of the
Right.
video.
I mean, if you're talking mental health and bringing them
Yeah,
to
yeah,
life.
I'm not gonna be crazy loud, but yeah, that. So, do something you like because you're gonna have to give it more energy than you think in order for it to be watchable.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the burnout is gonna happen instantly.
Yeah.
Like, I get burned out and I like what I do.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it, and I mean, if you wanna try to do it for a job, like, try it, like, do it, but don't assume that that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
1000%.
it's so hard to predict virality.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's gonna go viral for any reason, like that Gail Lewis. You know who Gail Lewis is?
No.
on TikTok, there's this lady, some random lady in the middle of Oklahoma. She was worked for like one Walmart for like 15 years,
Uh-huh.
and she's just like, "I'm gonna give my final sign out at Walmart." So she like got on the intercom and was like, "This is Gail Lewis signing out." Blew up, instant star. Everybody's like, "Y'all weren't there for Gail Lewis and Black Friday in 2004. You should have seen her. Should have seen her in action." So now she's like a viral sensation. She didn't even know she's like 70.
I love that for her.
Yeah, like you don't like how there's people that work every day at making their content perfect, and she blows up.
She blows up. Yeah, you're not everyone's gonna be Gail Lewis.
Exactly, and even if you are, like, not every video is gonna be a banger.
No,
Like, that's
mm-mm.
rare.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, I know I'll get on people's TikToks that have, like, 2,000,000 subscribers, and then, like, their average videos are averaging, like, 50,000 views.
yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get 2,000,000 views just because you have 2,000,000 subscribers.
Oh, no.
You have 100 subscribers, you're not gonna always get 100
100
views.
views, yeah.
Like, people aren't that dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Even now for me, like, I mean, if I have 260,000, a good video might get, like, half of that at the most.
It's just
A good
crazy,
video is,
though.
like, 70,000.
260,000 is a lot.
It's insane.
I hope you're really proud of
That's a lot of
yourself.
people, I am.
That's
That's
crazy.
that's 2 AT&T stadiums.
Oh, damn. Please
Yeah,
put it into
I
context
have put
for
it into
us.
context. Yep, and it's even
That's
crazier for the streamers that, like, get like, 2,000 people watching at one time. That's, like, a crazy amount of people.
that's crazy.
Like,
What's your
watching
average, I guess?
on stream, probably, like, 60.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, well,
60
it's a whole
people.
different platform. So, like, YouTube
Yeah.
and Twitch, so, like, it's
Yeah.
and it's 2 different people that watch the content. So, like, YouTube is on demand, people that wanna watch it on their time.
Mhm.
Twitch is like, "I wanna see what's happening right
Right
now when
now.
he's live."
I wonder, yeah, I wonder if they're like watching live to see if they catch you, like,
That too.
you know,
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
just, you know what I
The
mean?
at
To
this
call you
point
out.
I'm not to brag, but I'm so good at it, people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, alright." Like, people
They're forgiving,
they're
or
not
you
for
don't, or you're saying they don't have to forgive
there's
because you
nothing to
don't mess
forgive.
up.
There's not Yeah, exactly. So, the thing about the way I made my videos on YouTube first is I would edit them, and that wasn't very like I said, people just, like, record and upload the recording
Yeah.
straight, no edit. So, people thought that I was editing because I was looking the lyrics up, like, live in the video and then
Oh.
editing that part out, and I'm like, "Well, you can come watch me do it live."
Yeah.
So, it's, like, validating to people. They're like,
That's
"Damn,
funny.
he really is that good." Like, I don't like to toot my own horn that often, but I
Yeah,
do.
I do. Boop, boop.
Exactly. But, yeah, just be authentic to yourself, find something you like to do. Um,
Dreaming or not, right?
Streaming or not, yeah, streaming is very tough. And
Yeah.
also, the main thing I think that people don't realize is that you have to create short form content.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well,
if you're
because everything, like, think about it.
exactly.
You're
If
constantly
you're just a
scrolling.
streamer, you're never gonna blow up. You're never gonna
Yeah.
you could be the best streamer in the world, but, like, the only people that watch the stream are the ones that are there.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, they don't even know you exist.
Exactly.
So you have to make content that is searchable for them to be like, "Okay, now I'm interested enough to go and
Yeah.
find him live."
Yeah.
So
And you said it in the beginning, it's all about that personality. Like, they can go and like the one thing, but they're gonna come back because they like you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, like, on stream, it's not always music. So,
Yeah.
like, now we're just doing things as a community together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for your podcast, like, obviously, when it comes to podcasts, the snippets are extremely important.
Oh, super
Yeah.
important.
So, like, I watch, like, comedian podcasts, Theo Vaughn, just, like, big comedians, and
Yeah.
I didn't start listening to, like, Theo Vaughn in particular. I didn't start listening to his podcast till, like, 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I've just always watched his podcast snippets for, like, the last 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because like, I worked from home, so there was no commute to, like, "Alright, let me listen now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so now that I do have the commute, now I'm like, "Oh, I like his snippets. Let me go
Yes.
actually
Yeah.
consider listening to the podcast." Yeah, and I feel like the podcast world is just like it's just another economy.
Yeah.
Like, you have your big names, but
Yeah.
then most of them are just, like, mid-level podcast size-wise.
Well, and that's the thing. So when YouTube was first a thing, like I'm
Mhm,
talking 2012, 2013,
mhm,
I wanted to start a YouTube
mhm.
channel. Like everybody did,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But I just like never knew exactly what I wanted it to be. So I think I made a couple of videos and was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't it. And I never did.
That was the Wild West back then on YouTube,
It
though.
was,
Now it's a
yeah.
real thing.
Yeah.
Now it's a thing.
And so when I like finally reconsidered it,
Mhm.
I felt like I missed it, you know? I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way that I could just
You feel
do
like it's
it.
just oversaturated.
Yeah.
Never oversaturated
It's never.
because there's not a you out there.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of what I was nervous about with this is
Mhm.
that like, am I too late in this podcast game? But I don't know. We're gonna give it a fucking try,
Nah,
okay?
you're never too late. You're never too late, and you have, like, experience in, like, formal media,
Yeah.
so that helps, so because it's like a lot of podcasts that just start. It's just like dudes that are like, let's just throw two mics in a room and see what happens.
Yeah, no, that's
You
true.
know, so like you have like a setup, you have like audio knowledge,
Yeah,
you have
just
like
like
more than your average person who's starting out.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's like not get too much into my
All
story.
right.
So
Okay. Okay.
we're gonna do this or that. All
All
right.
right.
All right. She's on OnlyFans.
Mhm.
She tells everyone about it.
Mhm.
Or she refuses to work and has a sugar daddy, but says you're her main guy, so it's okay.
I'm gonna need one of
I
these. I
know.
didn't know we were going in that direction. Oh man. OnlyFans or sugar daddy with no
Like
ambition.
she shows up to Thanksgiving dinner and is like, "Oh yeah," to all your family,
Yeah, like,
but
oh, what do you do, honey, for a living? Oh, I'm on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, yeah, not Feet Finder,
Damn,
OnlyFans.
damn, not Feet Finder. No ambition though.
She has a sugar daddy. That's her ambition.
I guess,
She's like, let me help you.
I guess the OnlyFans. I don't even know because she's going around parading it.
Yeah, she is.
Parade it to people our age. If my dad asks you what you do, content.
Content.
That's it.
Oh, that's a
Social
influence.
media. That's it.
Okay, so he's going with
I gotta go
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
I'll take it. All
Hopefully,
right.
she's attractive enough to make a decent amount on OnlyFans.
Well, I'm
So then
gonna,
that's a
yeah,
win.
yeah.
I feel
You
like
can
that's
give
a
her that.
all right.
She's good
She's
on
she's a little
OnlyFans.
hottie.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's a baddie.
All right. Okay. All right. Then I'm a little more
You're like, okay,
understanding.
you're proud of her.
I'd subscribe.
Okay. All right, so she carries her own condiments everywhere.
Okay.
Like you're at a steakhouse.
Damn,
Like
and
you're
she
at
busts
Perry's
out
and
the
she busts
A1
out no like Chick-fil-A packets.
at Perry's.
Perry's. She's like, I want my steak medium well, and then she's dipping it
Not
in her
medium well and dipped in the
or she
Chick-fil-A.
wants it well done, I'm sorry.
Damn, well done.
Or
Or
she tries to get out of paying for her meal every time you guys go out to eat because she complains about something. So like she finishes all her potatoes, but she's like, these
I didn't
potatoes
like
are
them.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, I'm in my 30s now, so I think I can. I feel like I can talk my way back into her pain,
Yeah.
but I can't. I can't.
I mean, she's not even trying to not pay for you'll like
Like she's not offering to pay at all,
no,
ever.
she doesn't want either of you to pay
Oh,
ever.
oh,
She
she's
just
trying to get out the
complains.
meal.
Like she brings the hair in a plastic bag and puts it in
Damn.
every time.
All right, I think I gotta go the. I think I gotta go the Chick-fil-A route.
Her chicky
I think
sauce.
that's fine. I think that's more. I'll take the judgmental look from the waiter.
You're gonna like be like dipping
Yeah,
it with her.
I'll be like, you should have seen the other option. The other option was she planted a hair.
Oh
She
yeah.
broke glass and put it in the greens.
Like I've seen that in a movie
It
somewhere.
literally, it was. It
What
was in
is
a
that movie?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Is it? I
She
don't know.
Heartbreakers, I think was the name of the
Heartbreak.
movie, and she would
What
like
is
put
it?
glass in the food.
You even know your
See,
movies. What the hell?
I'm good at this. I'm good at this.
Okay, so here's the last one for this. So
All
she
right.
treats you like a king,
Okay.
has 5 other guys though that you don't know about. Or you're her only man, but she never puts you first.
Damn. Sucks. Both of them suck. Both of them suck.
That's kind of the game, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But which one sucks less?
I
Okay,
feel like if you don't know what you
I
don't
feel like
know.
exactly ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like that's probably happening regardless.
Oh no.
In this day and age,
No.
in this day and age, everybody loves to be big headed, and the only way to be big headed is for people to
Feel it.
fill it up with air.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, treat me like a king, as long as you don't treat the other ones like
Like a king.
this.
As long as I'm
As long as
special.
I'm the special one, even if you're telling them that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that "I Don't Want to Know" song by Diddy.
Which one?
If you're
No.
playing me, keep it on the
Is that
low.
Diddy's?
It's Diddy and I forgot the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like if you're
Yeah.
playing me,
Oh, that's true.
keep it on. Yep.
Yep.
See, it always comes back to music.
It does. It does. There's a song for everything.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about icks.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any icks?
Icks, like in general, or in women, or
I guess in
in
women,
women, I guess, right?
right? I mean, not necessarily any. Yeah,
I guess so.
all
Well,
icks. We are not. We're
I
not
feel
gonna.
I feel like my icks are understandable. Like if a woman doesn't even reach for the bill. Like, that's an
Uh,
egg. That's a red flag. That's not
yeah,
an egg. It's like, damn,
yeah.
she didn't even reach for this bill, and we're at Chili's.
We're at Chili's?
Like, damn.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's that. Uh,
I used to, like, hide money in Andy's car when we were young, but he would always pay, so I would hide money and all his friends would find it and keep it for themselves.
and
Yeah, I never knew that.
why? Why would you do that?
'Cause I would be like, "Can I pay?" And he'd be like,
No,
"No,
absolutely not.
absolutely not." And so I would have money and I'd just, like, put it in
Like a
his
10 spot in
a
his glove or
10
something,
a 20, like, in the visor or in the seat, and then
and then
I'd be
then
like,
his
"Hee,
friends
hee,
would
hee,"
find it.
and his friends would find it and he would never get it, so
Damn. Why didn't I ride in Andy's car more often in high
I'm
school?
sorry. He's like, "Stop hiding money, I don't get
I
it."
didn't never. And you're like, you're gonna get it one of these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, paying. A ick would probably be someone who like subtweets all their emotions.
Okay.
So like they don't ever tell you directly, but they anonymously do it on not anonymously, they do it as them on Twitter, but they
Ah,
don't it's obviously about you,
yeah.
but they don't say you, you
Oh,
know?
okay, yeah.
Like we get an argument and then you're saying something about the argument.
Oh, I don't like that either.
Yeah. Because
It's
then it's
like
like you're trying to ask for validation without asking for validation from other people.
yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
then I hate like those sympathy calls on any kind of social media.
Yeah, exactly,
Or it's
exactly.
so vague, it's like,
So,
say
like
it or don't.
exactly, exactly. And then people who specifically people our age, like who don't know how to they don't keep up with they can't keep up with the trends like on social media. Like
Mhm.
it's moving too fast
Uh-huh.
and like they're like 3 months behind.
Like what trends?
Like they do something that was viral 3 months ago.
Like X?
Now. Like no, yeah, like it's no, icks are always going to be a thing. Icks are always going to be a thing.
Are you trying to sub
So I'm subtweeting you about your icks about it's just all coming full circle. No, but they'll like do a trend or they'll like do a dance or they'll like do something and I'm like that's it's so old now.
Are dancing things still even a thing?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yeah,
But you gotta find new
you
ones?
gotta find new ones.
Who's making these dances up?
And on top of that, I think just our age doing dances in general, that's like a young person's game now.
Yeah.
You know?
The one that I see that's funny is the millennial Gen Z. Millennials dancing their hands up
Yes.
and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And millennial editing is like it's a whole thing on TikTok. Like Gen Z's making fun of the way millennials don't really know how to edit. Like when people like do transitional videos and they're making cool
Mhm.
transitions, and
Yeah.
millennials are just like
It's very
not good
safe.
enough. Yeah.
Mhm. I feel that one in my car.
Yeah. Yeah. Even me. Even me.
That's funny. No, that is funny.
Yeah. So there's not really too many icks on my side. And I don't like have a list. I think that's the thing.
No?
No.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, oh, I don't like that. Like if it happens
Yeah.
in real time.
Then you're like,
I'm
yeah.
like, ooh, that's kind of a
Well, when I was asking Andy, I was also thinking, okay, what are my icks? One of my
mhm,
icks about him specifically, I don't know if it's just men, but I love you, Andy, before I say this.
obviously.
About men in general, but I'll ask him like if somebody's attractive and
Hmm.
we're walking on the street and I'm like, she's cute, and he will find the most ridiculous thing to discredit that she's cute.
See, that might be an ick on the guy side though. Don't ask me if she's cute because
Why?
that's too much of a
I always want to
I don't
know.
know if you can take the heat.
I always want to
That's what they all say.
do.
That's what they all
I
say.
always want to know. I'm like, if you were not with me, who would you be with?
Nah,
And
see,
he,
that's a ick.
it's an ick.
It is. Because
Really?
see, Andy, you're a smart man. You're a smart man. Because it's like you say you want to know,
I do genuinely until I know, I guess.
but then you're
Right?
gonna be like, well, what do you like about her that I don't have? See, it's just
I didn't say there wouldn't be a follow-up question, but
okay.
just want to
Okay.
know.
Well, to avoid the follow-up question, I would need it in writing that there's no other questions after this one. Is she attractive? Yes. Why? See, we're not getting into that.
Yeah, no, and he'll be like, "No, her ear's like
Like,
her
her
ear."
hair's down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Okay."
Okay. All right. Next topic.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's an annoying one.
Well, if you think of any, you gotta let me know.
I will.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap things up
All
though.
right.
What do you want people to take away from this, to know about you? Anything different than from when we started to now?
Uh, just that, like, you can kind of do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, just be you. Like, know who you are.
yeah.
Know who you are. Don't try to pretend to be somebody just for views or just for, whatever reason, because that facade is gonna get tiring.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you can't keep that up.
Mm-mm.
There's a reason why that's the reason why they say the truth always comes out, because it's
Mhm.
impossible to keep up a lie.
Yeah.
And you'll know you're lying to yourself. Have more integrity than that if you think that, like, you feel like you can do that, because you can't. Um,
Damn.
yeah, you just can't. Like, it's
You
not.
just got deep.
I did, because that's why, like, I had to choose between growth or being me,
Yeah.
and I, like, tried to do the growth thing for, like, a week.
Yeah.
Now, like, this is 3 videos, and I'm
It's
already tired of
tiring.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, and I feel like the audience will the audience will come.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, I mean, I don't know how many people watch baseball movies, but Field of Dreams, he says, "If you build it, they will come." Like, if we build the field, they're gonna come. The same thing, like, you build on who you are, and an audience will find you. It might not be 10 million people.
What's he talking about, y'all? I have no
Field
idea.
of
I'm just
Dreams?
kidding. Yeah, I don't know the movie,
Okay,
but I
it
get the
Kevin
metaphor.
Costner, he's got a field of dreams in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
He sees dead baseball players,
Mhm.
like, super famous ones, so he builds a field in the middle of nowhere, and
Mhm.
everybody thinks he's crazy because he's the only one that could see him until he builds the field, and then everybody comes to watch the games. So it's like, believe in
Ah,
who you are, believe in your idea, and
see?
eventually
Look at
people
you.
will come.
You're such a scholar.
I am.
I can't wait to
Scholar in
take your
media.
class.
Yeah, I said, yeah, 101.
What is it
A&M,
called?
A&M SA.
A&MSA.
Navy Jaguars.
All right. Well, thank you
Of
so much,
course. Thank you for inviting
Ernest,
me.
for coming.
Ernie to you,
I know.
Ernest to
See?
you. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
Yep.
wait, before we go, where
Okay.
can people find you? Sorry.
Third Ernest everywhere. The
Third,
third Ernest.
the third
The music is the
Ernest.
third Ernest, just because I couldn't think of a name, like a rap name.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, that seems kind
that's
of.
your rap name.
I know, but it's like a weird, like.
Huh?
So on the songs, I call myself Third. That's it.
Third.
But there's
Oh,
too many thirds. Like, if you search on Spotify,
there's a lot
like
of
third,
thirds.
30, 30, 30, 30. But the third Ernest, it's like only me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
that's how
dig
they
it.
find me.
It's clever.
It is, because I'm
Equal
the third.
awareness
I'm
everywhere.
suffix. I'm literally the third Ernest. I'm the third, Ernest the third.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, which I know you
Yes,
did, right?
you had
Because
to.
he's super fucking interesting. So,
I'm something.
yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week.
For sure. Bye. All right, that was fun.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.